My name is Charlie Dent, and I'm here to demonstrate the dictionary book test, the Illuminati book test, which I helped create with the help of Nathan and his amazing technical team. The book test is something that I've done in the past, so I know a lot of the ins and outs of compiling books, and it's not an easy thing, but it depends how far you want to go with a book. And in the Illuminati book test, you can add your own books. You can add as much or as little of those books as you wish in a PDF. You could just add the first word and the last word on every page, and that wouldn't take too long. But you could scan the whole book, all the pages, do text recognition, make sure there's no spelling errors, because when you scan documents like books, you do tend to get some errors with the scanners. Well, that's another story. Putting in your own book there's a lot of work involved. And that's why I've created a lot of books for you so you can enjoy them. And they are available free of charge in the book library for you to purchase the physical books, and then you can then perform when you've got the right accessories to do the effect. The book test itself is an in-app purchase. I've done the Oxford School Dictionary PCL, and I'm now going to do the WT Oxford School Dictionary book test. WT stands for word text, and that is a word is input into the book test, and from there you get coordinates to where this word is in the dictionary. And as far as I'm concerned, that is the best way of doing the dictionary. The other one, PCL, sometimes can make people think that you just got an amazing memory, whereas the word text, where somebody writes a word down, you don't, as a magician, supposedly by the audience, don't even know what that word is. So it's really out the way. But you get the information from an electronic impression pad. That's the best way to get the word in. You could do it other ways, but it's the most covert way of doing it, where people don't associate writing the word down as some sort of electronic form, because the electronic impression pads don't look like electronic. They're disguised. So I'm going to take you down to my desktop, and then you will see what accessories I have here. I've got the Oxford School Dictionary. This is the hardback version. And over here, I have the softback version. And there's a slight differential in the size. And there's also a differential in the size of the font and the page numbers. In the paperback version of the dictionary, the font is a little bit smaller and does require a little bit better lighting. If you're struggling, always recommend taking a pair of reading glasses, either for yourself or for the spectators, just to, if they say, I can't see the numbers, would you like some reading glasses? Borrow these, and it'll get a laugh anyway. So I always carry these around with me from doing the test. The ISBN numbers, the physical books that you need to purchase, the ISBN numbers are here and also in the app. And you'll see that in a minute. For the paperback version of the books, the ISBN numbers are in the app already. So you can just look at the app to see that. I will show you the hardback version now. And the only difference for the hardback version for the ISBN number is the last two digits. And I'll read out the whole hardback version of the ISBN number so you can take note of this. The ISBN number is 978078672-2. So that's the hardback version. The font is a lot easier to see. The words are a lot easier, and the numbers of the page are a lot easier. So if you're handing these out and you haven't got constraints over how much storage space you are carrying around with you, then this is the best version to use. I'm now going to show you the different things that I'm using for the WT. That's the WT Oxford School Dictionary. I did mention it earlier, but in the library, you will see the WT and the PCL Oxford School Dictionary. If you have the Oxford School Dictionary PCL installed on your app, or the Oxford School Dictionary WT installed in your app for the book test, then delete them and reinstall the new PCL Oxford School Dictionary and the WT Oxford School Dictionary, because there is a slight error and I missed 3 words out on one page at the top. Those 3 words that were omitted. Somebody pointed them out to me and I've now corrected it. So the new dictionaries that are in the library are the current ones and they're up to date, and they are the WT Oxford School Dictionary and the PCL Oxford School Dictionary. So delete the ones if you've got the Oxford School Dictionary PCL or the Oxford School Dictionary WT. Delete those and put in the PCL Oxford School Dictionary and the WT Oxford School Dictionary. This tutorial is for the WT Oxford School Dictionary. The WT stands for word text, and it's the word that is written down, and then you get the coordinates of where that word is in the dictionary. And I'll show you how to set that up and how it works. In the app, you would go to favorites, and if you don't see the book test, so if I edit that, you will see maybe there's no book test, or you might not even have any of these things in here. You would say edit, find the book test, which is here. It's the 6th one down in my situation. Tap and save that. So we've now got the book test. If these apps are grayed out and you purchase them, you can go back to settings, go to in-app purchases, and up here at the top, you can restore purchases, and that will refresh and restore all the purchases that you've paid for in the past. So I'm just coming back. I'm going to go back into favorites. I'm going to go to the book test. If I go to edit book, you'll see I've only got the PCL Oxford School Dictionary installed, and I need to install the WT Oxford School Dictionary. There's no physical difference between the Oxford School Dictionary and the WT Oxford School Dictionary. I set the settings up differently so that you don't need to change these settings. You just install the book and just do a couple of settings like I'm going to demonstrate. So we need to install it. So we go to the book test, the main section of the book test, which is here, book test. And down here is the book library, the first orange one. So that's the 4th one here. I'm going to go in the book library, and here's the books that I've installed. And we want the WT. So there it is. And it's the button below the book, which you want. Are you sure you want to download the selected book? Yes. And here we have the WT Oxford School Dictionary, which the ISBN number is exactly the same as the PCL, and only 2 digits different to the hardback version of the Oxford School Dictionary. Inputs, word text, and then you get the word location. That doesn't need changing because it's already in there. Down here, we've got coordinates only turned on. Now, I like that because I just want the air of mystery. You've got numbers on your reveal, whether they're printed out or whether you tell the spectators, I've got numbers flying around in my head. You are thinking of the word, I've only got numbers coming through. And then you read out the numbers and navigate you to the word that they are thinking about. Now, I've got an exact match here. You could turn that on, but I wouldn't recommend it. I'm going to leave it off. Exact match means if the word is not found, a perfect match for the book, in the book, such as, let's see, books or book. Book is in the dictionary, but books, being plural, is not in the dictionary. So if you had that turned on, it wouldn't find books and it would come back with not found. So I would leave that off generally. What would happen there is if you got books, they wrote books down, you would get books and then the word that the dictionary found, which would try to find is the best match for that word. And it should come back with book. So it come books is what they wrote, book is what the dictionary's found, and then the coordinates for that word. I'm going to show you, I'm just going to save that, make sure we haven't done anything different. Coming out of there, we're on PCL at the moment, so I'm going to change that to WT, and then I'm coming back, just automated integration. You want to make sure that I have send text to speech turned on. I have send to notifier turned on. You could send it to destinations such as Lumin send it to API, send it to URL, or send it to many of the other options, image editor, to print out the reveal on Scribe or send to MindScribe, whichever. Save that. We go to the Thumper. In the Thumper, I like to have my Thumper programmed. So I go to button configuration, and I've got PCL on button 1. On button 2, I'm going to choose word text. There we have here, PCL. It's the top there, PCL and word text. I'm going to select word text. And we have it on button 2. Send to book on button 3. And clear all predictions on button 8 and repeat audio on button 7, which I like to because I use hearing aids. And I'm going to save that. Now, the Thumper, automated integrations. We've got send to book. It's fine. Okay, so I'm fine with that. Nothing going on there. I'm going to come out of the Thumper. I'm going to add the impression pad, because for word text, this is the best method for input. Writing a word down does not seem electronic to them. If you're using a phone, then people think electronics. I like to have my electronics hidden so nobody sees anything. That's when I'm phone. We're going to use the electronic impression pad, and I'm going to add it to the favorites. So I'm going to edit and find it. Impression pad, there we are. I'll put it at the top. There we go. Impression pad. If I tap that, and then you'll see it in the top, and I'm going to tap save. I'm going in there, and I'm going to say pair. And I've got trilogy. So I'm going to select trilogy in the unpaired impression pads. And do you want to connect this? And I say yes.
Lumen ZY trilogy connected.
And then I'm coming out of that once. I'm going to settings, and I'm going to make sure that my text recognition is on device, English, and lookup. You don't want anything selected there for this text. I'm not going to send it automatically for the drawing pad. I'm not going to send it automatically to the book. I'm going to do that with the Thumper. Send to notifier, that's great. And that's fine. I'm going to save that. Okay. And that's fine. I'm coming out. On the Thumper, I'll go to button configuration. And we have a button 3 programmed to send to book on the button configuration. So when we get the word that they've written down, we know what it is. We then say send to book, and then we get the information. So I'm going to now show you how it works. So if the spectator was asked to think of an English word, make sure it's not people's names or places or countries, because they're proper nouns. And you don't find those in dictionaries. Likewise, you don't. People's names, plurals, don't generally appear in dictionaries either. So I want you to think of any English word, such as cat, swim, jump, climb, run, grass, mountain, whatever you can think of, and something you can at least see in front of you in your mind, so you can see each letter as you visualize that. Have you got something that you're comfortably spelling in your mind that you can see each letter? Yeah. And just to solidify this, I'd like you to write that down. So one thing, you can't change your mind, and we've got something to refer back to anyway. So they write down a word. Let's say this time it's magic. There we have magic.
Magic.
Now we haven't got it automatically go to the book test. So I'm going to select the book test now. I can still do that. I'm doing WT. So
WT. Oxford School Dictionary selected.
you definitely don't want to press clear all predictions because we've got magic in the system at the moment. I'm now going to long press button 3 to say
Send to book. Magic. Page 412. Column 2. Line 7.
if you ask the spectator, are you thinking of your word? And they say yes. I said, I've got numbers coming through. I don't know what. You are thinking of a word though, not numbers. Yeah. I don't know, but I've got these numbers. Maybe. Just take the dictionary. I've got these numbers. I've got 412. So if they open up to 412, page 412 in the dictionary, here's 412. And I've got a 2. So maybe it's the column 2. So they look at column 2. And I've got 7. So look at the 7th word down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have the word magic. This corresponds to what's in their head. So you have the notifications of the notifying and audio. And if you want to repeat the audio with the Thumper, if you're using hearing aids, you can long press the button, repeat audio for the last word or last notification that was received. If I long press button 7, I should get the
Magic. Page 412. Column 2. Line 7.
that gives you confirmation. You hear it or you look up your notifier, and that's fine. So that's how you would do it here. I want to show you something if the spectator doesn't write a word that would be in the dictionary. So I'm going to clear all predictions.
Clear all predictions.
And let's say they wrote down Manchester. Okay.
Manchester.
We know it's Manchester. And we might think, because I haven't got exact match turned on in book test. So if I go to, I'll just show you that now, what we did before. And we go to edit book. Everything's fine. We're not doing any changes. So I'm going to go to WT, word text. And you see I've got coordinates only revealed turned on. I haven't got exact match turned on. So therefore, the book test is going to do its best to find a word that comes close to Manchester. Okay. So let's see what happens. I'm coming back out there. I'm going to go to status. We can see Manchester was picked up. And if the book test doesn't come back with a good match and you can't work with it, then you would remember the word Manchester and come back to that spectator and just read their mind and do the book test on somebody else, reiterating that the fact that they've got to think of words that might be in the dictionary, city names, people's names, and places or plurals don't generally appear in the dictionary. So don't think of that and keep it a singular, like camp, jump, run, swing, mountain, grass, climb, tree, leaves, whatever it is, any word in the dictionary. But keep it singular as well, and no swear words. And then the next person is 99% chance that they're going to find a word. So we've got Manchester in the system, and we're going to try it. We're going to send it to the book. So I'm going to long press button 3, which is
Send to book. Manchester. Ancestor. Page 25. Column 2. Line 2.
So what the book test has found is it knows that they wrote Manchester down. There is a bug, and that will be fixed in the next update. But it should say Manchester, and then the word Manchester that they found, then it should then come back with the word that the dictionary has found, which is ancestor, and then the coordinates of ancestor. Okay. At the moment, we can hear it on the audio. So if I long press button 7, I can hear the word that they wrote and the word that the dictionary has found.
Manchester. Ancestor. Page 25, column 2, line 2.
So you could go to it, the dictionary. You think, yeah, I can work with that because Manchester and ancestor have a rhyming sound. The words rhyme. Manchester, ancestor. Do they rhyme? Yes, they do. Okay. So what you would do is, in this situation, is you tell them to go to page 25. I don't know, I've got numbers coming through. So they open the book to page 25, right? And I've got a 25. So maybe page 25, and there's two columns there. So maybe the second column and the second word. So they look at the second word. Don't say what the word is, but you can see a word on the second word coming down. Yeah. And has this word got a rhyming sound to the word that's in your head? Does it sound similar? Not have the same meaning, but just a sounding the same, like a rhyme. And they will see ancestor. They know they wrote Manchester, ancestor. Yes, it has got a rhyming sound. But they haven't said that yet. They confirm that it's got a rhyming sound. And because the word you're looking at in the dictionary is ancestor. Am I correct? And that's hit number 1. But the word in your head is Manchester. That's hit number 2. So I actually prefer it sometimes where they haven't followed your instructions and they write a word down, like a city, person's name even, and it's come back with, if they do London, you maybe could use it, but don't do it in a church or some religious place, somewhere with very prim and proper people, because the dictionary finds for London, I haven't been through all the different words that are wrong, but there must be some really funny ones. And then that's what London and condom. You could use it if you want to, and it could give some laughs. But anyway, that's the Oxford School Dictionary, the WT Oxford School Dictionary. And it's your hardback version, and here is the paperback version. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to switch back to my other camera and hopefully see you in some more future videos. This was the Illuminati book test, and that was the WT. I did the PCL on another video, and I'll do a novel later where I'll show you some of the features for the novels, but that's pretty self-explanatory. You just go into the settings and they just show you there. I think you can just see that. 1 second, I'll just go back into the favorites, book test, edit book. If you go to the invisible man, for instance, on the third one down, you've got inputs and outputs. And if you go in there, you can change different inputs to whatever the performance you want for that. For the dictionary, don't go in here. But for the novels, you can go in there. And you've got other options. And I will do a video on that in the future for the novels, because there are some criteria which you need to know about. That was the WT Oxford School Dictionary. Hope you enjoyed that. I'm sure you will enjoy performing it. And thanks from the Illuminati team and myself for enjoying. Hopefully see you at Blackpool. Bye.